Next year, we will have to look at what are the needs of the town government, what are the needs of the school committee, and we will have to meet them as best as possible, that we can. We'll have to look at, just take a sharp pen to everything that is unnecessary. What that is, I can't tell you right now. I haven't studied the town government budget. I haven't studied the school department budget. The school committee works very hard. They have a base of people that they look towards and they work for, and that's the school children. They do a good job of that, and they're trying to do their best at all times to optimize what is the quality education in the North Reading public school system. With that in mind, they come up with everything that they think they need to operate. What we've gone through is a normal process. They realized everything they need to get, and then they had to cut because of the town finances. We will go through the same thing again next year, and we will make choices and we will make decisions. And if it becomes necessary that the citizens of North Reading feel that more money is needed, then we will have to realize that. We'll have to state that case to the citizens, and they will make the vote whether we get additional money.
What if they vote that you don't?
If they vote that we don't, we will live within the Proposition 2.5 cash that we receive in revenue.
So, in the end, that could mean layoffs for the town or less money for the schools?
We will have to live within the money that we receive. That is not, obviously not a thing that we would want to have happen. We certainly do not want layoffs. We want everything to remain the same in terms of how many employees we have, what kind of service we have, what kind of quality education we provide for the school children of North Reading.
Do you have another question? Or does anyone have a question?
I do have another question, email question. When it comes to town boards, the buck stops with the Board of Selectmen. When the Board of Selectmen or members of the BOS disagree with other town boards, how much should the Board of Selectmen members intervene, and when, if ever, should they step back and rely on specific boards to make decisions in their areas of responsibility?
Well, this is actually an excellent question. The point of the Board of Selectmen is to lead this town. They are supposed to listen and lead, not be fractured. There are many committees in this town, people who give of themselves. They don't get paid for it. They spend a lot of time trying to figure out what is best for this town. We should bring them in. They should come here to the Board of Selectmen. They should have to give reports on a monthly basis so that the Board of Selectmen can understand everything that is going on in this town. It is not possible for every Board of Selectmen to be at every committee meeting. We don't know everything that's going on. We need the committee members, a representative, to come here once a month and inform us what's going on, so that we do have a hand in everything that is happening in the town. We are the leaders of this town. We are the leaders. That's not a job that we can pass on to someone else. It is not a job we can step out of that role as private citizen and try to lead small groups. 5 of us together try to optimize the well-being of North Reading. We bring all the committees together, we bring all the ideas and issues together, and we try to do our best to speak with one voice.
Thank you. Just to clarify, you're not an incumbent at this point, but you
I am
sound
not
like
an incumbent.
Sitting in that
Listen,
chair.
He's sitting.
Don't I look good up here?
Well, thank you very much for
The
answering.
table is getting to me.
Thank you for answering the questions that we have, and I'm going to close questions, and you now have your 5-minute close.
Okay. Well, we've spent 25, essentially, they went by quickly, but we spent 25 minutes talking about issues and things, so I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself personally, so you'll know who I am. My father was in the Air Force, and I moved around a lot. I was actually born on a U.S. Air Force base in Wiesbaden, Germany, something I'm very proud of. And most of my life, I lived in Maryland. I graduated from high school in 1974. I graduated from college in December of 1977. I graduated basically in a little over 3 years. I took extra classes and I was able to accomplish that. I'm pretty proud of that fact. In 1978, well, actually my degree is in criminal justice. So my plan was to go into investigative work. My thoughts of how I was going to get there was to start as a police officer. So in 1978, I had the opportunity to be a summer police officer in Ocean City, Maryland. A great, great experience, just terrific. Can't say enough about it. Police officers do a great job. And in that just didn't work out. It just didn't work out in terms, it was a tough time, kind of decade for getting into police work. There was a lot of minority hiring. It just did not work out. And in 1980, I joined the Mass Department of Revenue completely by accident, never thinking I would go in this direction. And by 1981, I was a supervisor, and by 1987, I was what is called an assistant chief of bureau. Pretty big job, pretty difficult to achieve that job in 7 years in the Department of Revenue. There's people been there for 20, 30 years and have never made it to that, so I'm pretty proud of that fact. On March 19th, 1994, I married my wife. Good thing I remembered that date. I wouldn't be running for your selectmen, I'd be running for my life. But in June of '95, I was lucky enough to have my first child. Terrific little girl. In March of '96, I was lucky enough to move to North Reading, and I've been here for 5 years. And in April 9th of 1997, my second child was born. I'd just like to say happy birthday, sweetie. Her birthday is on Monday. Today is a special day for me and a sad day. My father died 11 years ago today, and I think he's looking down on me and being very proud that I'm actually doing this, and he's actually giving me the courage, I think, to do this, because I'm just a regular guy. I'm just like the rest of you. I'm worried about where this town is going. I came here wanting to bring up my family here, wanting to live here all my life, have my children go to a good school system. And I'm worried. I'm worried. I have a house here, and I am on a fixed income too. I only bring in so much money. I work hard. To bring in the money I need to have the quality of life that I have for my family, and I don't want to leave here. And I know a lot of you out there are like that. You're afraid. You're afraid we're going down the road that you may have to sell your house someday and that you may have to leave here. It's no longer a matter of how many people we are going to lose. The question is, how many people are we going to be able to save? And I think the only way we're going to do that is to bring in more revenue, get our act together, show better management, better leadership.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We're going to end at this point because we have another candidate coming in. And I want to thank Mr. Maldune for his time and coming before us and answering questions and speaking and introducing yourself. We're going to take a short break. We'll come back and we'll have Mr. John Murphy as the next candidate for Q&A. Thank you. All right, good morning again. We're now going to have our third candidate for Board of Selectmen, Mr. John Murphy. Prior to turning it over to him for his opening, I want to again give a plug for the group, since I don't know how people are jumping in. This morning we're having a candidates Q&A sponsored by the Citizens Action Committee, and the format is one in which it allows the public a chance to basically interview the candidates, ask questions and get answers on issues that are important to the public in a very direct fashion. And so each candidate gets 30 minutes with the public, 5-minute opening, 20 minutes of questions from myself, the public, through email and through attendance, and a 5-minute close. In preparation for this, the Citizens Action Committee asked the candidates to answer a list of questions or issues that we thought were important for the town. And so we sent them candidate profiles, and 3 of the candidates have responded to those profiles, and those candidates have come before us. That was Mr. Paul Mounter, Mr. Jim Maldune, and Mr. John Murphy. Those profiles are on our website at www.cacnr.org, along with a lot of other information. The Citizens Action Committee is a group that's involved in all town government issues. Our mission is to provide a format or a forum like we have here today for people to come and discuss and present issues they feel are important for the town to deal with, to introduce and support resolution of those issues. And personally, I think the primary goal is to advocate and promote ongoing community involvement. And so we hope we provide a forum where people can come and be involved in their community, both in the government side and in the public side, both by attending committee meetings and listening to what the committee members have to say and being educated about town meeting and about voting for town issues. Initiatives that we have currently, we feel very strongly that the town budget needs to be kept within revenue projections, which was successful this year. Next year may be a little bit different. We're looking forward to that. Town meeting participation, voter registration, and a solution to town space needs, both police, school, and DPW, which is going to be coming up. The event that you're watching now will be replayed on Sundays and Tuesdays at 8 p.m. So if you've missed something and you're wondering what those other guys said, watch at 8 p.m. on Sundays and Tuesdays, and also on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 10 a.m. Additional plug, starting at noon, we'll be interviewing school candidates, and in the interim, we're going to have free pizza that was donated by Domino's in town. So if you want to come down and have some pizza and get involved in communities and stuff, come on down. All right, with that, I'm going to go ahead and open it up and let Mr. Murphy do his opening.
Thank you, Todd. And I want to thank the C.A.C. for providing this forum to discuss my candidacy for the Board of Selectmen for North Reading. I think this election is about leadership. This community needs leadership as we move forward. We've experienced tremendous growth in the community. And I think what we have seen over the last several years, the community is beginning to strain at that growth. So I think this election is extremely important to the community. By way of experience, I have 22 years of banking experience at the Federal Home Loan Bank of Boston. I know what hard work is. I started in the mailroom, and I've worked my way up. I'm currently First Vice President for Bank Operations. And in terms of governmental experience, I serve currently on the Board of Trustees for the Trustees of Trust Funds here in North Reading. I previously served as a Vice Chair and Chair of the School Building Committee, and previously, when I lived in Stoneham, I served as a member, Vice Chair, and Chairman of the town's Finance Committee during a period of extreme fiscal constraint. We had some override issues, and we had some layoffs, and it was a very, very difficult time for the community. I care deeply about North Reading. My wife Lorraine and I moved here for the quality of life it gives all of us. Our children, Katie and Thomas, enjoy many of the programs and services that the community offers. And I want to help to ensure that those programs and those services that we all